All right, everyone, it's time for another Off the Top Sportscast. I'm John, and that is Roy. And Roy, we are here with another episode. But before we get started, please, everybody, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, go follow us. We love to hear from you. We get so excited when we see new subscribers. We get so excited when we see comments. Please hit subscribe. Roy, what's our topic for today?
Your most memorable slam dunk contestants.
Oh, yeah.
And we can't say Michael Jordan because guess what? Everyone in the world will say Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I'll go first. So the first guy I'm gonna say is a guy who at the time not a lot of people even knew about when he was in the slam dunk competition. And all of a sudden he bust on the scene. And that guy is Tracy McGrady.
Good one.
Tracy McGrady had a great slam dunk competition, and on, you know, 8 out of 10 years, he wins it. But that one year, he just happened to go up against somebody, a little bit more spectacular. So he did not win it. But Tracy is one of my favorite in-game dunkers and dunk competition guys of all time.
Again, I'm going to go as number 5, one of the oldies but goodies, powerful, pretty much known for that windmill type dunk. I'm going with Dominique Wilkins.
Absolutely.
That's my number
Yeah,
5.
that's a great one. And I got to play basketball against Dominique when he was a little older here in Orlando, and he played in Orlando. So that was really fun. He wasn't jumping like that no more, thankfully, but
And
it
good.
was fun. It was so surprising to see a big man move like this. So when he came out, I mean, it was just really spectacular to see, and that is Dwight Howard. That dunk competition where he put on his cape and and he put the sticker almost at the top of the backboard, and all of his jumps, all of his dunks were just so impressive, especially for a guy who was 6'11", 7 feet tall at the time.
I agree. The thing about, if I give him, I say big, the dunks were good,
Mhm.
but he made the whole thing very entertaining. It was
Yes.
something you had to watch. So I agree with you. He wasn't on my list, but I agree with you. So again, I'm going by ones who I go, man, that was, when you saw that, I was like, that was one heck of a dunk. I'm going to go with, he's been in the dunk contest 3 times, won 3 times, and is short. And I'm going with Nate Robinson.
Oh, nasty Nate. I like that.
Nate Robinson, he was nasty, short. Spud Webb had a nice, but he dunked and almost made it. Nate Robinson he made it and had some power. Nate Robinson, that's my number 4.
Nice. Yeah, and he beat Dwight in the slam dunk competition, actually. Um, so my next one is actually going to be Spud Webb. I
Oh,
just I think it was just the first time that we saw the antitypical person out there dunking with the big boys, and in that competition, it wasn't like he was going up just against anybody. He was going up against the heavy hitters of the heavy hitters, and he was taking down Dominique. Um, it was just so impressive to see him jump up there, and even the one that he jumps up and he just hesitates in the air. It's just kind of like he sat there for a second and pumps and dunks it in. And yeah, it was just as a kid as well. That happened when I was much younger. Um, it made me feel like, oh, I can dunk one day.
I think, really, I think, when you look at the slam dunk, because the slam dunk contest had a heyday, like,
Hmm.
oh, and then it kind of died. And we were like, nobody wanted to see. And then it had some sparks. I think people should go way back and watch some of those dunk contests. I think they like it.
Yeah. Who's your number three?
Zach Levine. I think he did good. I like him. He won. I think he's a phenomenal dunker, good long body. I say, came up, this generation started coming up with different dunks. I say Zach Levine, my number three.
Zach is very good, and he's really developed his game beyond dunking, which is nice to see. So many players that are those excellent dunkers. That's just what they do. Yeah, and that was a fun competition, and it was made doubly as fun because of the guy he went up against, who's my number two, Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon did stuff that we just had not seen when he put that ball in the seated position under his both legs.
Crazy, crazy, crazy.
I mean, that was just the body control, the ups, when he did, stuff was going around on the little whatever those machines were called, and he's rotating and he catches it perfectly. One of the things that I will say about both Zach Levine and Aaron Gordon was that they were doing dunks one shot. They were getting it off the back. Almost all of their dunks came right off the back on one shot. And that was really an exciting dunk competition. Who's your number two?
My number two is Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
Again, I thought he got robbed on the dunk contest where he should have won. I thought he was creative, powerful, hops. He was up. So I go, that's my number two. I thought he was phenomenal. Phenomenal. In some ways, I wish with the team that the Magic have that he was on the Magic, because we wouldn't need him as a scorer as much as just a defender. So I like Aaron Gordon in that respects. But I think Aaron Gordon is definitely top tier number two.
So now we're both at our number one.
Let's see if we share number one.
I think there is no way that we don't share number one.
There is no way. If you go anybody else but this person, let's give little hints. You give one hint, and let's say I give a hint. Let's see if we're in the same spot.
Florida boy.
Owns a restaurant in Florida.
Oh, I did not know that. Played for the Magic.
Played on the same team as his cousin.
Oh, yes. Yes. One of the most spectacular in-game dunks that has ever been performed. We are both talking
about the one,
the only, Vince Carter.
Vince Carter. That's the number one. I call him Mr. McNasty when it comes. And longevity in the career as a basketball player. I think I don't know. I could be wrong. 15 years maybe.
I think it was 19 years.
19. He played with a whole bunch of crazy teams.
He just retired, 3 years ago? He came in the league in 99.
Yeah.
So
that is my boy. That is him.
And a couple of things about Vince. You got to remember that at the time we had gone through that lull, like you said. Everybody was doing the same type of dunks. Everybody was kind of and they had taken the dunk competition away. And they brought it back for Vince. That's how good of a dunker he was. They had taken the slam dunk competition was out of the All-Star game, I want to say, for 2 years. After Kobe won it, I believe they took that out of the dunk competition, and they brought it back. And Vince is the reason that they brought it back better than ever and bigger. And that was a great slam dunk competition. It was Vince Carter. It was Steve Francis. We got to give credit to
Francis. Nice.
And it was Tracy McGrady, who at the time nobody really outside of Toronto really was paying any attention to, you know? And that was a spectacular, did dunks that we have never seen. And if you want to see something remarkable, usually when people do a dunk, what do? What does a crowd do? Explodes, right? Cheers, yes, screams, stands. When Vince goes up, he looks at the rim and he backs up and everybody's looking, waiting. And he jumped up and he put his arm in the rim for the first time.
Mm.
The crowd did not react. The people in the stadium did not react because their brains were not, they could not compute what just happened. They were just so stunned.
If you go back to the dunk, because people have done that dunk where they dunk and they kind of hook their arm. If you remember that dunk, he not only put his arm through a hunk and bounced it right back out like it was nothing. And if you remember when he went, it's over. It was over. That, again, Vince Carter, again, spectacular. My number one. I think if you take a lot of people out, Michael Jordan out, I think many people will say Vince Carter. Now, without a doubt, if you would put, we would have to put Michael Jordan, right? We have to, right? Because there is no one like that. I think, that kind of double clutch. The guy was remarkable. In-game, dunk contest, but that's a gimme. I think we named things that people didn't think about. Again, many people made what you thought was memorable to you, but I think we have some solid picks in regards to the dunk contest.
Yeah, and there was so many different types of dunkers. Some honorable mentions that I'm just thinking about dunk competitions when oh my God, Sean Kemp was in the dunk competition.
Yeah,
it was like the rim had done something to his family. How hard he was throwing that ball through the hole. I mean, just throwing it down so hard. Baby Jordan, Harold Miner came to mind. That was a fun slam dunk competition. Yep. Unfortunately, as a Magic fans, we have had some people really bad in the dunk competition that just, there's been some really bad ones. And I'll say this as my last point on dunks as a whole. If you haven't seen, go look up Vince Carter dunking over a 7-footer in the Olympics. It's the most incredible in-game dunk you'll ever see, because they steal the ball, throw the ball to him in transition, and he takes 2 big steps and jumps over the head of this guy and dunks it casually.
All right. I'm going to do one right here. I am going to reenact the dunk. And by me doing this, you got to tell me who it is. So I'm going to do it right here. Okay, here we go. Mm-hmm. So you come running, and then he goes up, and I love this guy watching it. I thought he was great. And he goes,
oh, D. Brown.
D. Brown. That's my honorable mention. I thought he was great. I thought he didn't have that great of a career. Okay, but D. Brown.
Tell us all the truth. Did you hurt yourself with that reenactment?
Actually, my neck.
Yeah.
But that's as close as I'm going to get to Duncan. But that's not as close as we're going to get to the end of this conversation, because we're going to ask the fans, please subscribe, please thumbs up, and please tell me, who do you think is the best dunker in town? Maybe even tell me who won. Is there a tie for the most dunk contest wins? Or did someone win more? That's the question that we have. So just subscribe, thumbs up, hit that button right there. You see the button behind me? You see the button in the video? But there's only one thing left to do, because we love talking about sports, and that is John.
Talk to a stranger about sports today.